Hi there, my name is Emma Ginder. In this video, I will be walking you through my e-portfolio that I have created and really focus on some of the parts that I'm especially proud of. So diving right in, looking at our professional development plan assignment, this one definitely took the most time, but I was sure to make one that we could actually use in my building or even in my district. As we all know, this school year is one like we've never seen before. And my school district started the year with a hybrid learning model. We had students Monday, Tuesday, and then our other students came Thursday, Friday. We were also in charge of remote students. So it was a drastic change, as you can imagine. And so I wanted to include professional development opportunities that teachers would be able to implement in their classroom with their new hybrid learning styles. So to start the school year in August, we really needed to talk about hybrid learning, what it would look like, both when the students are at home and then when they're here in the classroom. So being able to do some hybrid learning training was especially important for us. I also found that back in March when we had the initial shutdown, many teachers were not well equipped for Google Classroom or Seesaw, which are lower grade levels used. And so I thought that it would be appropriate to have some trainings on Google Classroom and Seesaw. They were optional in case we did have staff who were well knowledgeable on it. But this way we could just start them off and really introduce the applications to them and walk them through them so they weren't so overwhelmed to begin the school year using them. I also included some training on our new phonics curriculum that does utilize a lot of online resources. Of course, with hybrid learning, we were still expected to do our phonics training. So having to teach phonics online is definitely difficult, especially when it's a new program that you're learning. So having a few days of training on that program was extremely helpful for us. And then here this month in October, we switched from our phase 2, which is our hybrid learning, to phase 3, our district called it, and that was on-site learning. So again, making those changes on how teachers can still integrate technology, what they'll be doing, as well as maintaining the safety and healthy that we still want to put at the top of our priority list. And then as the year goes on, I thought some internet safety training would be important as kids are obviously always on the computers or on their tablets, and being able to train them properly so they know the do's and the don'ts of the internet and social media. Looking at my 3 training videos, I did one for staff and then the other 2 were for my students. I felt that they were all really beneficial, and actually I've seen both the teachers who I trained as well as my students utilize what we went over, which made me feel really good that it wasn't kind of a waste of their time. So our staff training was on creating a Google site. Ironically enough, I have created a Google site for my classroom, and I have found that it's really helpful, especially for parents, to kind of just have a housing place where they can go for all things related to our class and our grade level. So I held a training at the beginning of the year before students reported back. I'm just showing them the ins and outs of Google Sites, what you can do with it, and also just showing them how creative you can be with it, as well as how simple, because of course everyone's different, and some people wanted it to be really colorful and the different fonts and things, and then some were just satisfied with the basic pre-made templates and things like that. So I walked them through both of those, and of course I've seen our librarian continue to use them. Some classroom teachers are still continuing to use their Google Sites, which made me feel pretty good. I was, of course, included a presentation on Google Sites that I kind of used to lead that training so they weren't completely overwhelmed, and just showing them what Google Sites is, all the different opportunities you have with it, and of course, like I mentioned, how creative you could be with it or just how generic you can make it be. The 2 trainings I did with my students I was really proud of because they actually went hand in hand with our curriculum and our stories, and I thought that it was a great way to kind of continue on their learning in a fun and engaging way. So the first training that I did for them was using a website called Book Creator. Our story that week it's called Destiny's Gift, and it's about a little girl who loves going to the local bookstore and just loves to read books. And so we thought it would be fun to have our students create their own books. And so Book Creator allows students to create digital books, and then with the class code that they put in, we can read one another's books, and they're on our digital bookshelf. So that was really fun for them to do, and they got the hang of it super quick. It did not take near as long as I thought it would to get them familiar with the website, so they did a really nice job there. And then the second training that I did with my students was on creating Google Slides to do a research report. So again, our story was Bat Loves the Night, and we started the week doing research on bats, and they wrote an informative paper on it. So I ended that week with them getting to choose an animal of their choice now, and then instead of creating an informative paper, they made a Google Slide report to share with their classmates. So kind of a little different, with our informative paper, we of course are focused on complete sentences and all of those things. And then with our research report, I allowed them to do those bullet points, and I emphasized why papers look different than presentations. So again, they caught the hang of it very quickly. I'm always amazed by how quickly they can catch on to things, and their creativity was totally shining through, which was great. The extra resources that I included, it was nice to be able to go back and kind of like reflect on my whole MIT experience and pull assignments and activities and things that I had done, in the spring or two semesters ago, things like that. So I was able to pull on some of my resources I found to be really helpful. I included 3 of my YouTube videos on the first 3, and then some presentations I made, and then as well as some papers that I wrote. So I just wanted to have a variety on there for not only me to utilize and look at, but also my classmates and even my peers as I keep this website up and running for an extended amount of time. So overall, I definitely have enjoyed my experience in the MIT programs. Like I've said, it's crazy it went by as fast, but I feel that I have learned so much about technology, about the different ISTE standards that I had never heard of before. I learned a lot just about myself and my work ethic and what I'm doing in the classroom and how I can continue to grow. So overall, I would say it was a positive experience, and I've really enjoyed my time. Thank you.